Hi everyone and welcome to part 23. We're kicking off. It's going to be a shorter stream for today. I'm going to stream for an hour or so, which should be one VOD on the YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, it's about the same as always, but I'll have a little do a quick outro on this one as well. Ooh. Okay, oil in there. The system works quite well. I'm quite happy with this. It's actually shutting off. Ooh, we got steel. Trying to remember where we were, so we were just building this, I think, because this was quite big. So this room is 132, which is too big for a great hall. I need to put 2 great halls in down here. So let's just pop that in. How many is this? So it's 120, 12 by 4 is 30 in a row. I need 48. Over 2 is 24. So if I put them in a row, they'd end up like that. And obviously I need some decor buildings. So in fact, if I just pop the 30 out here, and then we'll have some spare space, I suppose. Let's put some doors on there. And then these would be... Oh no, hold on a minute. What I also needed was some food storage. So what I was thinking was take all of these out and rebuild them. So I'm keeping track. So we'll do infinite food storage in here. And that needs to look like this, and we'll put a 3rd tile in there. Yeah, and then so we'll have a drop down, a conveyor drop off, liquid lock, and we'll have a tile there. We'll leave that space. This is still the correct number. What we can do is just pop something like that, and then in order to make this a great hall, we just need a recreational building and a and some decor. We've unlocked the metal blocks. Or we've got lead. We could make this out of gold, but we'll pop those in for now, and we can just pop those along. Now hold on a minute, because what I also wanted to do was try and put some kind of ladder in here so that we could get through. So what I think is that plastic. I'd like to use plastic ladders in here. In fact, I should probably turn this all to plastic. I turned off the bottom I pressed it though. Let's turn that back on and we'll start making a load of plastic, and we can use plastic ladders, and then they move quicker on them. Which might actually be necessary in a base this size. Usually I don't really bother. A decor -5, it's the same on that. If you like this, we'll put the door here, and then it will keep the... It needs to be here. It keep this room as 120. Except I got short. Ah. Okay, never mind. I've misjudged it by 1 anyway, so... Well, that's fine. I mean, we've got it's here. Hold on, but this was too many seats. I only need 24. That's 12. Just having a rethink. That's 12. Oh no, that is 24. That's 24 seats. Perfect. Cool. So we'll do that. And then the other thing really that we were trying to do was fill up these ranches. So we've got 3 critters in there, 1 in there, 8 in here. So there's 3 eggs, 5 slicksters. So that's good. What I should probably do though is actually move these incubators out, because really they're counting towards the critters in the room there. So you don't want to put incubators in the room. I just lived with it temporarily because I didn't have really any slicksters, so get away with it. Now what I might also do to check that starving notice is put loads here, and I can put these all on the same wire because we can use the cycle sensor automation to make sure they don't run at the same time. And of course the key with these, I think a lot of people know, but you only need to get the lullaby buff. Once you've got the buff, having them powered doesn't do anything, so they need to be powered for them to complete the task, but outside of that, there's no need to have them. So that's why you can turn them on for 10-15% of the day and then turn them back off. It gives them enough time to be lullabied. And you save a load of power. That also means you can stack them on the same wire. So obviously if I ran 12 of these, that would be 3 kilowatts of power, more or less. So that would overload that wire. Because we'll turn them on different times, that's fine. And the key point with overloading, of course, is the actual power draw, not the potential power draw. Okay, Catalina's a bit bored, but she is just on her way to the middle of nowhere. And we're going to discover the last bit of the planet. Oh, sorry, the star map. Now we got more flooding down here. Yeah, it just needs a mop. There's a load of water here, but it's balancing on tiny amounts of... say tiny amounts. There's some tiny amounts somewhere. Gonna flow off. So we'll flow off a load of oil and then it's gonna flow off yeah, a load of petroleum, and then the water will flow out. That's it. And then we can once all the water flows off, we can mop it up if we need to, or it might drain. The transformer is quite important because it's kind of powering our water supply, so we'll just ask for a mop there. In the meantime, this is absolutely stacking up with liquid, but we'll filter all of that out later, so that's fine. I mean, there's liquid falling everywhere, but we'll deal with that. What I'll do is I'll just priority 6 this lot. Just give it a slight increase. Should do is put that crystal drop back into mine. Oh, I'm fairly low on steel because this has probably used quite a lot of steel. But steel-wise, just check the refinery. I think, yeah, it's still iron that's the limiting factor. I mean, but I can queue a load more iron, so we'll do that as well. Get the steel going. Right, there was also a power wire here, wasn't there? Why is there a deconstructor and on this ladder? I can't remember. Buildings? So we'd planned out this SPOM, and we're going to move the SPOM up, and we've got a power conductive wire. And I just used the conductive heavy watt because I've got loads of lead, and actually more lead than metal ore. So normally use the heavy watt, but I've used so much metal ore everywhere that it's actually a bit lower on resources. Well, that power wire gets built, and then we'll move this out of here, and we can use can turn this into the same. Just take these. The auto sweepers out because we'll put the crystal drop-offs and then rebuild them. They're all good. This way we can just fill the rooms. Just get rid of that igneous rock by flipping the sensor. Wait. Dumps all the stuff in. There's a lot of stuff in this corner. It's fine. This is a design that I came up with in my previous base, actually, and I brought it across. So the normal kind of hatch sticks to the idea of having the grooming station and the 3 tile high door tile they can't get over. Keep it 96 tiles, but keep it close to the grooming station. And there's also automation in here that just checks if there's more than 8 critters, it lets the eggs flow out If not, it loops them back and puts them back down. But then there's a timer sensor that keeps from stopping it looping, basically. Because if you didn't have that, it would just feed the loop all the time. So this just kind of checks it every quarter of a cycle. It'll just spin it round. If there's eggs in there, they'll just go round and round. And they can incubate. It's quite effective, but you need to keep the rooms clear. If they get crowded, then they stop eating so much carbon dioxide, and your whole setup kind of falls apart. If it's over pressures, you have problems. They're not disastrous problems, but it just gets a bit annoying. It's very difficult to manage temperature and the steam as well. Cool. So we're still making thermium. We got 7 tons of thermium. We got more thermium than steel. This happened to my last playthrough too, but actually I had drilling rockets there for loads of tungsten from wolframite. So if you send them out to the glimmering planetoids, sorry, glimmering asteroids, they've got wolframite and tungsten. So you get 80% of the mass there, which is a lot. Let's kill this. I have the meat. I need food. Cool, and I'll tell you what, if we just drop these out of here, move, and remove. They're still nullified, I think, so. I really wish you could copy settings on these, but you can't, unfortunately. At least I don't think you can. Doesn't do anything. Even though the button's there, but anyway. Right, so we'll kill this. I can copy the settings on this though. Ooh, if I press the right hotkey. Do that. So that's 10. There should be 10, 15. And then, so we'll keep it to 15. Oop, grab it. And then we'll, obviously we need to go at least 25, so we'll give it a little bit of buffer. Go 27. Grab this, and then 27 plus 15 is 42. So we'll give it a bit more than that, 46. And then this way we can in all of these ranches. I'll up the priority on this because it's got to be top priority. I think the ranches are already prioritised, so that's going to help. But need them to lullaby over everything else, and we'll sort the rest out. Our critter population will grow. I think it's here in the colony summary as well. The domesticated critters. So we're on 0 to start, obviously. 22, 27, up to 35. That's just going to shoot up. We'll have a look at that again a bit later. Just flip that. Just trying to get rid of this debris. I probably should do some manual sweeping at some point. In fact, I might need to just to clear that out, because it kind of breaks the automation a bit if there's too much debris in there, because it can't actually get the eggs onto the loader, and then the eggs get stuck. But it should sort itself out. I was thinking this is a bit. That is. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's flooded, but these are the ones that are running anyway, because that's the rocket one that I've effectively turned off. So I did want to prioritise that bit, so let's get them doing that. So these, priority 9. Okay, that should be, yeah. Hopefully they should grab this guy, right? Should be on the errands. There we go, there goes Nesbit. Cool. And then this will just fill these up, so 2, 3, 5, up to now, 2, 3, 5 is 10, isn't it? So just be concerned that's missing power. Shouldn't be. So we're up to 10, and we'll keep going and going. There's a lot of building to do, which is probably going to be the theme of this playthrough. To be honest, there'll be some big builds. So once we get a lot of dupes, actually, it should be quite quick. Won't it be too idle? I think Catalina. Okay, she's telescoping. In terms of her coming back, it's just 10 back, so. Actually, she needs to finish this, and then yeah, she's gonna be idle. So it's annoying that if you had a hydrogen rocket, you could fly around a bit more. It's just because I'm using the petroleum. Only got 20 tiles, so to get these corner ones, it's pretty much there and back. And we'd already telescoped out most of the interior bits, so not that much value, but we'll do a couple more trips and we'll get the rest of the map. Then we'll know where to send our drilling rocket. So for that, we should set that up. What we'll do is put petroleum engine, still got enough steel, which is good. We'll put this module. Module always goes at the bottom for me. I think it's just much easier to do this. It's a tendency to put them at the top. I mean, it kind of seems intuitive to put them at the top, but actually they do much better at the bottom. Easy to get off and load. So we're going to need large oxidizer and 2 fuel. Well, I might swap this. I think fuel at the bottom. Needed a pipe. We'll need a storage cargo bay. I need a big one. I don't need a big one. I'd like a big one. What's the issue with that? It's a ton of steel. Ooh. Okay, I think, well, luckily I've viewed a load of iron here, so we'll get that steel. Just thinking in terms of diamond, I might actually be a little bit low on that. Although there's it should be loaded around. I don't think it shows up as anything, does it? 'Cause it's miscellaneous. Because there's so many oil biomes, I'm hoping there's diamond. But they seem to be fairly sparse in the oil biomes we have. Probably makes up for the density of it. So I'm sure we can get a lot more. Kind of everywhere, so. Do we get any more from that last bit of digging? Oh yeah. 13 tons, yeah, okay, so 8 tons was the number I had in my head. We're up to 13 now, which is good. Oh, we got 3 more lava eggs. Nice. Good, and these are just sweeping out all the stuff. Flip them back if they're empty. If the rooms are empty, we're all good. Just watch the plastic as well, just make sure it doesn't melt. Got 2 tons there. Keeping an eye, where's the steel? There it is. Lots of building. And once we get all the slicksters up, we can get loads more dupes. The amount of food here, it's going to be crazy. I may need more petroleum generators to actually provide the CO2. Although I've still got the chimney, so I've left the chimney here, which is still venting carbon dioxide to space, which is also keeping the pressure a bit lower than it would otherwise be. I'm interested that this is still producing steam somehow. I just thought this would have overpressured. Yeah, the overpressure is 5 kilos, isn't it? Or is steam different? I don't think it says the limits on here, does it? Why are you guys idle? Because we're out of oxygen. Why are we out of oxygen? Are we out of water? No. It's just struggling. The lines are struggling to keep up, are they? Maybe. Yeah, so these far docks are obviously last on the priority, so the oxygens are slightly unbalanced, but we should fix that, so we need to get the other spawn online. Unfortunately, I've just got to kind of sit and wait and let them build, particularly after I just plopped all this down in one go. This is a huge build. We can open that. Oh, we can open all of them. There's no disadvantage really to having the pneumatic doors open. Just made this quicker, they don't have to keep opening them. Usually useful to stop critters, but I mean they don't block gas or liquid anyway, so no downside on that front. Building entombment, this annoying shuffles. Could murder them, I'm very tempted. Because of that last shuffle, I got a load of barbecue, so food's actually really good. Probably just better to hold them for emergency food. Yeah, this has gone again. This has actually shut. There's definitely a visual bug here where it doesn't shut. Why have we got no magma? There should be magma in here. I've definitely gone wrong. This is most curious. I don't know how we ran out of magma in there. Luckily, the failsafe system here has kept us good, so I can just manually reload it. No, hold on. What happened there? Oh dear. Okay, well, That's not good. That's not good at all. Okay. We're having problems again in the boiler. Oh dear. I think I spent about 3 VOD episodes, 2 or 3 hours trying to fix this, and I thought I got it. Clubstep, hello. You haven't done any mod progress. Ah, yeah. Well, let us know how you get on. I mean, it sounds like you were doing a cool map. Thanks for popping in. My boiler's just breaking again. I've got magma, but there's not meant to be magma. It's still working, so swings and roundabouts. So how do you describe that one? I'll leave that for a minute. We need to fix it though. Yeah, how are you doing? Well, I keep pressing the wrong button on that. I should open these doors. Sometimes. And, sometimes it doesn't want to copy the door settings. See, it does on some, it does on others. There's definitely some weird behaviour with that. That doesn't want to. I don't know. Anyway, I'll open those all up. Do we have more lava eggs? We have more lava eggs. We're going to have more lava eggs than incubators soon. Which is the opposite version. Am I going to handle ranching? I had a careful think about that. Ranching is a big topic. What I definitely want to do is a separate tutorial series for all the critters and all the plants, so that I can make. Okay, what's going on there? I can make a video on each, and then that'll be a separate series. In terms of ranching, I probably will just include that in the critter series effectively, so I'll do an intro / overall video, basics of ranching. What's going on here? If I open this out, it's gonna... I need to freeze it though. Can I just put some heat in here? So yeah, I'll cover ranching introduction basics in that, and then do one on all of the critters individually. So that's the plan. So I won't actually include it in the main tutorial bite series. Okay, just dumping some heat into this water, just to try and cool this down. Once this is cool, I can just dig it. What's the freezing point of magma? Should know 14... 1410. No, it's 14 something. Just definitely gonna put a little bit of heat into here. On priority. But then I don't know why this toggled. Let's... We'll just set that to red. Now we've got some steam in here. There's no biggie. The gas pump's overheating, not surprising. Let's see if we can get it out. We've got spores. Definitely need iron. We need more steel. Well, we needed more steel. We now have more steel. We also need a ladder, so we should just plop a ladder up here. We need access to the oxidizer, so just one across. And then we need... I've got the large cargo bay, excellent. What's the height on this? So I can put 35. I need the drill cone, which is 5, so that's... Say, that's 29, wow. But I don't think I need any electrics in it, so... I can probably just put the drill cone on and get it done. There's the drill cone. I think this is 34, if I've done the maths right. 33. Okay, I could put a battery in, but I don't think I need any power. Oh, for food I will. For food I will. But then it'll be all rocket power anyway. I'll pop a battery, just because we can. I think more than anything else. Definitely doesn't need it. Pop that all the way up. One across. Cool. And Turner's jumping on that quite quickly. It's interesting. Especially when we've got all of this to do. I don't know why we're prioritising this stuff. Oil in the boiler. Ah. Okay, so what has happened is... My mini gas pump has melted. Luckily this is shut off. What I can do is put a thermium pump in here now, which is good. But we need to put that across, and we need to build that across. Do that. We'll fully pump this out. Robo miner on. The vacuum seal is still good. The issue is this is transferring heat, which is not good for anything, so we really need to get this out quick. Okay. In the meantime, we'll be fine. Our petroleum reserves are huge, which is great. Have any issues with that? Yeah. Plan is to stream for today for a short stream, and tomorrow for another short stream, probably. Maybe a little bit later, or maybe similar time to now. Start. Then probably a longer one on Sunday, but I want to do a couple of consecutive streams. I can get the Twitch affiliate. Pretty close on that one. Mostly thanks to all you guys, so appreciate all my Twitch viewers. And we'll post the VODs, so VODs will be coming shortly. The episodes 23, 4 and 5. We're getting there. Okay, starting to get this out, which is good, and Steam should stop transferring so much heat. It's pretty much stopped. Got that out. It's good. Cool. So we'll let that run for a bit, and then I'll get it working again. I don't know why it broke still, so it's always a bit difficult. Something you don't know. You don't know why it broke in the first place. We'll have to watch carefully. Just open these up. This also needs a mopping, really. So cool. So I probably should just prioritize this a bit. So let's get that going. So I need to bring a petroleum line across here. Do it in a way that doesn't do anything. The water line, we can also run that across. It's like they can reach 4 up from here, so I'm kind of thinking, obviously miss the output. Should be able to reach all of that once this module's built, because remember they can run across the front of it. Is this me or is there no small liquid fuel tank? There isn't, because there's no rockets that require it in the DLC, so the small petroleum engine has its own tank. So you don't need the small liquid tank. Or was there a small one in the base game? Struggling for my memory now. What else is liquid fuel? So the hydrogen you just have a big tank for. Carbon dioxide is gas, sugar is solid, steam has its own storage, it's gas anyway. So I don't think there's a need for a small one. Cool. So we're still making loads of plastic, it's cool. There's Catalina coming back in. We now heated this up because this was all like minus 40 or something, minus 60, and now it's oh, this reckless 200 degrees, but that's just been rocket exhausted, so go. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, so we can reach from here. The next one, so fill up on petroleum. We don't need gas, in fact we will need obviously some into here. So we'll do gas, we'll do water. Came up with a meme idea of making slime a rocket fuel. That sounds interesting. I do hate slime, it's a very annoying substance. It's more downsides than upsides usually. So you can do puff ranching and mushrooms as well. I never really do dust caps. Doesn't tend to be my thing. Just prefer meat. It's much easier. Okay. Let's keep checking. I think we've got more lava, right? So we'll see one. Just one. They'll come up for the lullabying, and then hopefully someone will come along and do it. There should be on here. For 2. How much is this? 5. They're probably using the proximity one. So we're still grooming down here. I mean, really, I'm going to need more ranches, especially with this amount of. But the critters will feed the dupes, and the dupes can ranch the critters. So it's a positive cycle. Just need more. Because usually as well, I use I generally tend to let the sixes die. I don't kill them or evolve them or anything like that. The extras I'll just dump into here, basically. They can help with this. We could put in some kind of automated kill chamber. We probably need to later on. An evolution chamber, because there'll be so many slicksters. Trying to murder them might actually kill my PC, so that might be the risk. Cool. So how to do space mining? We'll set that on all. Doing the interior. So I have a blueprint, I think, for a rocket. So this is this is a mining rocket. I've designated it, and it's pretty simple. It's just a great hall and a bedroom, not a barracks. That doesn't count as a room bonus. It's too small. Well, I probably could do that if I really thought about it, but morale's not really necessary. And oxygen-wise, it just fills up once, and we keep them in their suits, so they never run out of oxygen, and then that's fine. So let's priority 6 this. I think the outside was priority 6. Cool, so we're filling that now. That needs to be oxalite, and we'll put that on high priority. The drill cone also on high priority, so we fill that up with diamond, and then what we need first of all is fluorine, so we'll send it off to the Gilded Asteroid. And then from there we can start getting wolframite for tungsten production for thermium production. So the glimmering, we'll send them out here. That's 8 as well, I think. So 8. If I had a hydrogen rocket, I could send a liquid cargo and a solid cargo. I think with this setup, I think you can get both in if you use liquid oxygen. So the liquid oxygen will reduce the oxidizer space from 5 to 2. Give you 3 slots. Take the battery out. That's then enough to get a liquid and a solid cargo on one rocket. And even for petroleum, that'll be 20 tiles, 10 there, 10 back. Hydrogen, that's 16 there, 16 back, or you could get an extra 5 by doing 16 total, so 8 there, 8 back. So it's a lot of maths if you're still following along. Rolling along, well done. Now, interestingly, okay, so this wasn't powered because on the previous game I'd got to the point where I was producing berry sludge, which never expires, whereas on this one, see, we are not there yet. Pretty close. So we're going to power the fridges. We'll use the pickled meals. Just wondering if... Okay, slightly concerned this is too hot. So if it's too hot, what we need to do is just pop in some radiant pipes. I'm thinking we'll just up the food production a little bit. Just to get a little bit more in the meantime. I think we've got loads of dirt. We've got 900 tons of dirt. Wow. So we're not short of dirt. Speed bumping going on here. Research-wise, I think we stalled a bit on the research, but it hasn't really been the priority, so... Also, that reminds me, I probably should just send that up for some orbital research. Cool. We're building away. So we'll get this all built. Then we can sand this up, we'll get fuller in, and then we'll have loads of supercooling. And loads of thermium. And we can start building sour gas boilers. Which is going to be fun. Especially given how badly this this boiler's gone. Right, okay, I forgot about this as well. So that's done. I'll just check if I don't know if we lost it. We didn't lose any automation, did we? I don't know why this stopped working. Most confused. Shipping. So put the rubber miner back in. But what I can do now is I should be able to 740. So when this goes green, this drills, which obviously the drill's not there, then it opens this door. That's that one. Was I not meant to toggle it? Maybe I wasn't meant to toggle it. Oh, of course, the same problem. Whoops. Can I... If I just pop a temp shift plate in it, it might help. Anyway, the boiler will keep working in the meantime. It's definitely something's going on with that automation, which is funky. I really want to get rid of these damn shovels, so let's do that. Just keep burying the platforms, which is annoying. Mostly, I don't... It might stop them from taking off. I can't remember if it does or not. But mostly it makes notifications, and I hate notifications. Actually, spurious ones, as it were. Ones that don't really do anything. So this is up there. In terms of food, yeah, I think Catalina's good to go. Right. So I don't think there's anything stopping Catalina, so we'll send her out. And then in here as well, we'll put pickled meal. Just up the priority on that build. Yeah, see, and we should have a great hall and a bedroom, so that's +8 morale in there. And then we should have to make some more pickled meal, I think. Do 8. We should have a load of barbecue coming in, so that's not a problem. The rockets, you can turn metal into gas. You don't have to use metal gases. What do you mean with the rocket exhaust? Because they're so hot. Because I've done metal gases before entirely by accident. Oh, okay, so let's kill. Let's do these. I don't know what it is. So this should be red. Because it was working fine for ages and ages and ages, and I haven't changed anything, and now it's suddenly broken. Tweak that. Reachable, right? Was it not reachable? So if I set this to above, let's go green. None of that. That shuts this. And this needs to go red, doesn't it? Yeah? Okay. Seems fine. Seems fine. So I have no idea why this was breaking before. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, so I said I've accidentally made metal gases before, definitely with rocket exhaust, liquid as well, liquid and gas, copper and iron and gold. Usually that I've mined from space missions and then just left on the floor and fired up the next mission and gone completely over the top of it. Okay, cool. So we're starting to store pickled meal in here. 8 times 1800 is 14.4. Should be enough food for quite a while. We're going to need to pick a dupe in here. Who's my crew? Kim, Wolf. I don't want to send Starless. So let's just check Kim and I want to check their piloting skill because that determines how quickly the rocket goes. Piloting 3. And Wolf's is also 3, so both pretty slow. Anyway, we'll pick Chem. Not enough to make metal. Yeah, except tungsten. But you can get liquid tungsten from the space locations here. So actually on my last playthrough at the end, I made a bath of liquid tungsten just from there. So I was just playing around with it. So yeah, I had a little bath of liquid tungsten. Pretty hot stuff that. I'm just thinking I should ground this. No. Except that. That should be uncontrolled. No, but this food is not refrigerated. It's still pickled meal anyway, so it's fine. No power to that. So that's storing 6, I think, acute 8. So we'll see. I may well end up with some liquid tungsten on this game. If I can get hydrogen rockets, we can make that more efficient. We'll see. I mean, so I've left Evitus up here again for ages. The other thing that I don't have yet is nuclear power. So I need to start compressing nuclear waste or to make grab bolts later on. But then also I want to get that in the right place, and the correct place for the nuclear reactor is here. Because I want to build all the way up to the top. So there's a problem with this. Yes, carbon gases now, like the only unreachable material in the game. Yeah, I mean there are tricks to get up there, I think, aren't there? Oof. Actually, I'm not entirely sure you could reach gaseous carbon. I'd have to think about it. It's too much going on for me to think about that thought experiment. You need something. You need a heat source hotter than that. I don't think you could do it. So you're probably right. Just pop that on that, pop that. Have we got any more lava eggs? No, not yet. Okay, but in terms of numbers, we've got 8 critters in there, 3 in there, 6 in there. So we're growing rapidly. And we'll do the same on this side as well. They should be able to eat all this carbon dioxide. They're starting to make oil stuff. There's a fair bit down there. I still haven't worked out how to deal with that. That'll be one of the next things to do. Okay, Catalina's off there. We in here, we got 6. Let's make a bit more. Food is an issue. It's a fairly minor issue. I can fix it quickly, but just think add some more plants. In terms of gas, though, I've just left the base open. So the carbon dioxide's just completely fallen out the bottom, which is good. Oh, that's my solution to carbon dioxide. Just let it go, and then later I'll do. Yeah, this is meant to be my carbon dioxide pump, but it's actually not in carbon dioxide anymore. Club step saying 4,827 degrees. Yeah, tungsten liquefies 6 degrees below. Oh, I was just thinking you could do something along the lines of liquid tungsten in 1 kilogram packets or something in liquid lines, but even I don't know how you add heat to that. That's the question. You could stop it phase changing, but it's I don't know how you get it hotter. That was it, yeah. Any building you put in that would melt. No way, and there's no source hotter than that, so you can't really do it. But interesting idea. Okay, we got 14.4 in here, did we? Q more? I can't remember if I queued more or not. I did, but I'm going to can it. So, I think we can go on that. Double check oxygen. Yep. Oxygen's water's good. Oh, they haven't done that. Anyway, probably not that important. And the fridge will get power once the rocket starts up. Goes Chem. And there goes Chem. So the fridge should now have power. Yep. Start cooling, but the that'll last for a long time. Alright, Clubstep saying you only think contain liquid tungsten and airflow tiles in a vacuum and insulation. Yeah, I had it in insulation because on the last playthrough I got quite a bit of insulation. I was playing around with the resin tree and had mass Draco farms. It always feels a bit weird. Why got so many idols? We're running out of oxygen. Why are we running out of oxygen? Should be able to keep up. Yeah, insulation is a bit of a weird material because it by the time you get it, you don't need it. So you've already got so far, you don't need it, and it takes so many resources that it's like. So why? I don't know why this line's struggling so much. Well, I think we'll let it roll. This side's completely fine. I'm a bit confused. A bit confused by that one. Anyway, we've already got a little bit of idling, which isn't great, but we'll live with it. That in there, more lava eggs, more eggs. If this is 8, we can destroy that. And this is 4, that's 6. We'll just fill them up and then we'll put the auto sweepers back in. I destroyed. Catalina's out here, which is good, so she's... I mean, there's probably not going to be anything here, but she's going to... We'll research anyway, just to be 100% sure. There's definitely something over here. And then Chem's on his way. That's 4.5 cycles to the Gilded Asteroid, and we'll get loads of fullerene. And then we'll pop some supercoolant into the forge, so to make supercoolant, we just need fullerene, gold, and petroleum. So petroleum I've got loads of, so I'll just make a little pitcher pump to pull some out of for the dupes from our storage, because obviously it needs to be pitcher pump available and it's not in there, so we'll make that. The Gilded Asteroid also comes with gold, so that's great. And then fullerene, you get loads. You can make loads of supercoolant from that. Clubstep saying you use for abyssale. Do your busy with melting ice resin into naphtha. That's such a waste. That is such a waste. You can make naphtha out of plastic so easily. Yeah, I'm not a fan of naphtha. I don't think it really has that many uses. I don't know if it was you or someone else that was saying that they liked naphtha. It doesn't work like viscogel anymore, so that use is not viable. I don't think it really has anything else particularly. So build unpermitted food for Cam. Whoops. So we'll make sure he can eat the meal. Problem solved. Yep. Then we're out of resources on here for thermium because we don't have any tungsten. Metal refinery, meanwhile, is making loads and loads of steel. Tungsten, I've only got 1,500 kilos of wolframite. There's some more in this biome and this biome, but that's about it. So we'll start sending space missions for that. Clubsep says you only see naphtha as a thing to melt just to make more sour gas off. Yeah, I suppose. Although where are you getting the naphtha from? From plastic? It's glossy Dracos, or if you're making it from oil, that's redundant. I think that's the only way to make it that I can think of. Oop. Accidentally melting plastic, or as an unintentional sour gas boil. We're gonna do an intentional one, so stick around for that. And that's gonna be later episodes. Obviously, we're a little bit way off that now. I need to stabilise the base first, and then there's gonna be a lot of strip mining to do before we get that going. But we will start soon on sour gas boilers. My hope is to have 12 of them. I think I'm gonna do 12 sour gas boilers. It's gonna be pretty fun. Just to see if we've got enough space for it. But yeah, in terms of the stream-wise, like I said, this one's going to be a short one. So it's going to be one episode on YouTube. And I'm probably going to run for a couple more cycles, call it there. It's going to be a short one. Then I'll do another short one tomorrow and a longer one on Sunday. That should be enough to get me affiliated on Twitch. Good. So you don't, Klaus saying you don't like the way the rovers work. It's stupid. The rover has to be the same material. I mean, the thing with the rovers is I don't think they're bad. I just don't think they're as good as dupes. So it kind of feels to me like putting 2 dupes onto a planetoid is just better. It's quicker because they can build the rocket platform and land and keep going. The rovers don't have a purpose if you can do a double dupe lander, which isn't that hard to do. Once you work it out. Of course, I'm trying to work it out can be a bit tricky. Why have we got gas in here? This should be a vacuum. So, broken our lock here. And just rebuild that. Yeah, I don't think I discussed that specifically, actually. I just kind of did it. So, definitely earlier on this playthrough, when I landed on the magma planetoid, I sent a double lander, which is what I always do. But yeah, it's doable if you have the gas storage inside the rocket, like I've done here. So you just got infinite gas storage in a rocket. That means you don't need a gas cargo tank or anything. You can do oxalite as well, I suppose. But if you don't have a gas cargo tank to supply your rocket interior, that gives you enough space for a double lander, especially with a large petroleum. That is another thing I think I just prefer doing. I just like to skip straight to that. Just easier, I find, and I just love petroleum. That's one of my favourite things in the game. I love petroleum boilers, sour gas boilers. Now we'll just keep gasoline going. Yeah, in some sense, they kind of break the game with just how good they are. It's ridiculous. If I do 2 there, then I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. So it should be fine. Let's do that. So yeah, this boiler, even though it broke a million times, it still makes loads and loads of petroleum, so pretty good. Our petroleum storage up here. Now got 15 to 20 tons per tile, and it's just going up and up and up. I'm not burning it all off, so actually, so we will be consuming water for that. Which I just realised is probably a problem. So I should actually just cut the water supply off here. I've run out of water. That's not too clever, is it? Whoops. Huh. So we're going to do some emergency measures. So firstly, that. So we'll reconnect our old water tank. Now we have an output pipe here, but we've got no way to get to it because of the way I've done it. But we can put a vent higher up. So what we'll do is we'll put a vent higher up here, and we'll snake away. Okay, we'll cut under for convenience. This is going to be a temporary line anyway. This is not advisable. Don't do this at home, kids. This is what we're doing. Now, annoyingly, I've got petroleum in here as well. So what I'm going to do is just use a filter, which generally I don't like doing. Filters are bad, but for this purpose, we can live with it. It's a bit of an emergency measure. So what we'll do is we'll cut a load of these, and then some filters in here. So we'll filter out. I'm just thinking. So we'll do. Oh, we can't do that because that's in the way. So really, what I want to do is put the water through a sieve because that's polluted water. We'll do it in here for now. I probably should swap that around really because it's coming in the other way. And rotate those just to swap the import. Do that. And that comes up to there. Now petroleum can come across here. I don't know why I'm making this out of insulated. It's just entirely a waste, isn't it? Doesn't need to be that much quicker to build normal pipes. We'll do that. Across. Then we can bring that into there. Petroleum will go that way. Oil, we can. I don't know what to do with the oil. I'm going to do a cheeky dump. Sounds a bit wrong. We're gonna throw it out here, and it will just fall, and we'll collect it later. Right? Is that right? No. Other way around. Cool. Power. Run that off there. Well, we would try and move this power line, but there you go. And this has got to be pretty high priority, guys. So this is kind of our water supply and our oxygen supply. So we definitely need that. Just spot it down. Cool. As that says, I know another use for Visco gel. It's the use of why would you? For Visco gel, you can use it to build things that are made out of plastic with a higher melting point. Things like mini gas pumps and such. That's a bit of a niche use. Not something I've done practically, but something I know can be done. So, in fact, on the subject of mini gas pumps, I did have one in here that got deleted, didn't it? So, in the wrong one. Mini gas pump. That's just a fail-safe. Cool. All right. I'm losing track of time. So yeah, I'm going to end after this cycle. So apologies, it's a bit of a shorter stream, particularly shorter than normal. So I'll be back on tomorrow similar time, and some more fun to do. Keep going with that. So. As I was saying, since in your mod folderings a common biome resource, also remove most of the gold and There's a pyrite. Yeah, pyrite isn't used though, is it? Most of the time, so it's not used in most of the maps. Be interesting start. Trying to work out how to deal with that. Yeah, so but just a quick stream for today. So one episode on the VOD, and I mentioned for the guys in Twitch currently, the YouTube and Discord links are down below. So there's a new video coming out for YouTube on the tutorial bites for cooling. Had some issues with editing that today, so it's not quite out yet. It's very close, so I was hoping to get that out today, but I think I might run out of time. The bits I need to do tonight, so I'll be out tomorrow to check that out. Just keep building. So much building to do on this. Oh, got another egg. Our population's going. So why is this not? So we got 6 in there, 3 in there. We got 9 in here. Yes, we got 9 because they've laid an egg, right? Okay, an egg. Yeah. Okay, we've manually picked it up anyway. And here we've got 4. We've almost filled up this half. Good. Can you imagine using weasels for cooling? Yeah, I mean, in the base game, it's still perfectly viable. Just in the DLC, the radiation's a bit of a killer. It's still, I mean, they're still good. Do a reasonable amount of cooling. It's a lot of zombie spawns. But yeah, so I mean, this episode we've built half of this now. This was all plans before. Still haven't quite finished, unfortunately. But we're getting there. We sent off a diamond drilling rocket, so that's going to get there soon. We've explored a bit more of this. Have we found anything? I don't think we've actually found anything in this whole area, so... Oh, maybe we must have found this metallic, actually. That's got liquid iron. Okay, so that's 13% liquid iron. That's 30%. We might use that for liquid iron later on, for steel. We'll see. Cool, I think that's the cycle. So yeah, we've sent it off for research. We've got the drilling going. We've probably tripled our success supply. And we've built a lot of the base, the power wire, and this is still done. We've also exhausted all of our water supplies accidentally, and we'll get that back online. So in the meantime, we're just bringing some emergency water in. But that's it there. So thanks for watching this episode, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.